Good afternoon. I am here
Hello.
with Miss Teresa Harrison, Mrs. Teresa Harrison. I'm so excited to be in your presence as always. I just think that you just have a positive spirit, a positive demeanor always, and that people are very fortunate if they are blessed to be able to be in your presence. You're a giver, you're a doer, you're a motivator, and I'm excited to be able to share this space with you right now to be able to learn more about you. So thank you for your time. Jeneen C.A.R.E.S is looking to really connect our community. Being from Philadelphia, being a transplant in Frederick, I feel like when I move to cities, I always want to feel like how I can get to know people. And thank God that I have Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in a sisterhood of women who already connects with me. But there are families out there that may not have organizations and things like that. And as we seek to really close achievement gaps with respect to our students, I think that our first step is to continue that community building that we do naturally with so many of our organizations. And so Jeneen C.A.R.E.S is really under the premise of, okay, we got a lot of different organizations here in the community and we still have areas of growth. How can we come together and really make a stronger difference? And so I'm inviting legacy leaders from different walks of life to join me on Jeneen C.A.R.E.S to just share their stories, share their interests, share their passions, share their gifts with the world and with Frederick community so that we can begin to get to know each other and build community. So thank you for being one of my legacy leaders. There are so many accolades that I can give to you about your accomplishments as a woman, as a mom, as a friend, as a sorority sister. But I just want to thank God for you being a woman of God and being a person who's in tune with others and really looks to really support others. So I want to say thank you for just being you on top of all the fabulous things that you're doing. And I'm so excited to share this time with you. So can you please introduce yourself and kind of share some of the things known and unknown about who is Queen T or Mrs. Teresa Harrison?
Absolutely. But let me first thank you. You know, nothing happens by coincidence. And I am so blessed that God has allowed our paths to cross because that is such a big blessing to me. Who am I? You know, I like to describe myself as someone who is very wealthy. I am rich, and my richness is not counted by dollars or money in the bank. My richness is accumulated by the people in my life, initially by my parents who raised me. I have 10 siblings. I and my parents, so there were
Wow.
13 of us in the same house growing up. I don't know how
Wow.
we did it, but we did it. I am the middle child and the first girl. So I have five older brothers.
Equally amazing. Wow.
Yes, and I kind of upset the apple cart, so I call myself the game changer in the family. And I have five
That
young.
is cute.
Yes, I am the game changer of the family. We were raised in Baltimore. All of us but one were all born in Baltimore. Had a great upbringing. Grew up in a wonderful community. In Murphy Homes, which is low income housing, it was a fabulous upbringing because we had people who looked out for us in all parts of our life, in addition to our parents. So there were folks to teach us, there were folks to guide us, there were mentors. Of course, there was the church, which was the staple of the community. Shout out to Providence Baptist Church in Baltimore.
That's amazing.
And I had wonderful friends who are my friends to this day.
Even better.
To this day, I grew up on a street named George Street in Baltimore. So my company is called George Street because it was so impactful in my life.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. Look at the legacy there. Keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yes, they're important to me. I went to the world renowned Western High School, an all girls high school in Baltimore. I know you went to all girls.
Oh, yes. What another connection. Keep
Yes,
It's
went to
awesome.
Western High School, loved it. And then I went to Frostburg State University for undergrad, and I got my master's there also.
Very nice. Very
And
nice.
that was very pivotal in my life because Frostburg was very different from Baltimore. But there I met people who didn't realize how they pushed me. I was a very shy person, and I remember attending the first Black Student Alliance meeting, and Joe Dotson and Thomas Winston and Michael Breeden encouraged me to be the treasurer. I'd only been on campus a month, but that helped me grow. It helped me step out of my comfort zone. And what I've learned since then is stepping out of my comfort zone has all added up to who I am today. At Frostburg, I met the most wonderful women. Renowned attorney Marilyn Williams is my best friend still
Oh,
to this day. Kathy and Wanda and many others who were there when I was there. But that's where I began to explore life really, academically, culturally, socially, and I grew as a person. After Frostburg, I decided I wanted to be an astronaut. As a little girl, I had two dreams. I wanted to be an astronaut and I wanted to own a business. I remember being about 7 years old saying I will own a business one day.
wow.
I got my degree in business administration, but wanted to be an astronaut. But you know what? If you want to be it, if you really want to be it, you work towards being it.
Absolutely.
So I decided I put a plan in place, and I tell people all the time, put a plan in place and work your plan. And I decided my first job would be as a software engineer. Back then we were called programmers.
Okay.
And I literally would not take any other job. So I finally got a job as a programmer, moved to Falls Church, Virginia, and I attended the first meeting and realized I had no clue what they were talking about. No clue. I wasn't sure it was even English.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
No clue. But everyone else had computer science degrees in computer science. So again, you put a plan in place. I moved it to an apartment 2 blocks from where I worked. And I would go to work 8 to 5, leave, and when everyone was gone by 7, I would go back to work and work from 7 to 11 until I got up to speed.
I love it. I love that resilience, that dedication.
Absolutely. And the capability is in us. We just have to draw on it. But within the Frederick community, we moved here in 1987, a week after our youngest daughter was born, bad timing. And we thought we would be here 3 to 5 years, but this has been the best community to raise our children. And here in Frederick, I've been on the board of Interfaith Housing Alliance,
Okay.
DSS, Department of Social Services,
Nice.
Frederick Memorial Hospital. I am currently on the Hood Board of Trustees, which I'm excited about.
Nice.
I'm on the BB&T, which is now Truist Bank. I'm on their advisory board, and I've launched George Street Foundation.
And when do you sleep?
You know what? It's compartmentalized.
Wow, that is amazing. I definitely, if we're going to speak it into existence in the far future, I would love to be on the board of education because I feel like making change is something that I like to do, or supporting growth. And so that's a vision of mine. And I also want to do a nonprofit. So we'll have to connect more about that.
Absolutely.
Me aligning my steps in order to get there. So I might need to be pulled into one of those groups that makes
absolutely
to be on a board and kind of just see what it is like.
Absolutely. And the organization I'm in which we are in the community the most is, of course, our Frederick County alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I definitely like to give. That's just who I am. That's how we were raised. Actually, even as a young child, it was a requirement. It's a way of life for us and my family. So this is not unusual. And I was just so honored to have the opportunity to join Delta in 2012. So that's a little bit about who I am.
Wow, what a story. What a legacy leader. We are interviewing legacy leaders on Jeneen C.A.R.E.S. But what I found most interesting about all of the leaders that I have interviewed is their humility and their ability to really, reflect on their journey and to share
Mm-hmm.
and to be vulnerable and to be able to teach and preach. Really, that's what's going on. And so
Mm-hmm.
I could not have envisioned me doing this about a month ago, and
Wow.
just kind of started it, and it's been like so enjoyable to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God for like the vision of Jeneen C.A.R.E.S and all those people who are being a supporter and a messenger through him to the world to bless them. And so thank you for your time today and that wonderful story of perseverance and dedication and vision and just that, sticking with something. And so thank you.
Yep.
So you are managing a lot, and I think I would love to know kind of what has been most present on your mind. If you think about when you spend a lot of your energy managing, what is something that you're mentally thinking about a lot?
There are a couple of things. One, I am in such a space of gratitude, and I think about that often.
Yes.
Um, when you go on a journey that's life impacting
Yes.
and you come through it,
Yes.
you will always be in a space of gratitude.
Absolutely.
In all parts of my life, um, I am so thankful. I am so thankful. One of the things I've been thinking about, in addition to that, is with COVID-19, my mom is in a nursing home, so we haven't been able to visit. But again, being thankful that the nursing home had the foresight to think of ways for us to connect. So we have our virtual call, our Zoom calls,
Oh,
and they're
that's
hilarious.
great.
They are hilarious.
I can imagine.
People are on the call. Well, why don't you just come visit me?
Oh,
But lately, I've been thinking about just how grateful I am for everything.
absolutely.
And, you know, it doesn't matter where you start at, it matters what you do with what you have. And you can do so much with a little that it's been overwhelming, especially during this time, to think about how grateful I am.
Yes.
So
I've been,
I've given that a lot of thought. I've also been thinking about the village before us had to face some really dark times,
that's true.
but they still found joy.
Mm,
So in the midst of COVID, I've been finding unbelievable joy,
yes.
unbelievable joy. And something as simple as it's beautiful just going to sit outside.
Yes.
Birds, you hear just the sound of the amazing world God has created and the beauty of it. So it's all tied into, I think, my state of gratitude.
Mm,
Um, the other thing I've been thinking about that's different from that is the fact that I would love to be the crisis manager for the stimulus package, specifically the small business loans.
okay.
We haven't done a good job of it, in my opinion. I can project manage it, I can manage the crisis, and I can answer the question.
Hmm.
And how I can help our government with that because small businesses are the major employer of US citizens.
Interesting. I'm glad you said that because first I want to respond to the attitude of gratitude that you have and clearly shows through in your spirit as you shine in any moment, right? Whether you're going through something or not, you're always shining. That light of God is
Oh,
shining
thank
within you.
you.
But small businesses, as we connect one community together strong, I'm talking about not just the African American community or the minority population, because we know that they have areas of gaps and areas of growth, you know.
Right.
I'm
Right.
also thinking about the community in general and that small business opportunity. Yes,
Right.
I definitely want to hear more about that because I think that that is essential. And I wonder if you know of any ways, particularly to help others learn, either through website of where the organizations exist in our community, small businesses, or the independent, or the Black owned, or those kind of things, because that's something that I'm looking to maybe connect with and celebrate them as well. Is there like
Hmm.
a website or a way to kind of?
You know, Frederick County Economic Development Office have a wonderful minority small business program.
Okay,
I've had the pleasure of speaking at this program
nice.
3 years, and they help equip you,
Okay,
someone who wants to start a business or someone who's just started a business, any small business that want to grow on all business because of the resources. So
okay,
there are a lot of resources here that would be beneficial to you.
okay, great. So definitely, if you're listening, if anyone's out there listening, definitely looking at the name of the organization again is the Frederick County
Economic Development Office.
Economic Development. Okay, all right.
Yes.
So maybe we'll
Yes.
share that in the description of the bio of this YouTube video so that others might find opportunities for that.
Oh, they can always reach out to me and I'll provide it to you, but I can get them to the person.
Okay, awesome. So, what has been the hardest thing, if I might ask,
Mm-hmm.
that you've been dealing with as you're thinking about all that you just shared? What has been the hardest of all of that?
One has been not seeing my mom.
Yes.
Two has been that I am an engaging social person, and I've had to put that on hold to a
Oh,
certain extent.
yes.
Zoom and technology has helped, but
Yeah.
nothing replaces being in the presence of another human being.
Absolutely.
And so that's been hard for me. And the way I've countered it is I've worked projects because I have a gazillion projects. I've just been working on my projects and launching them. So that's how I've been able to counter it.
Speaking of launching projects, yes, I remember seeing something that a video is coming out. Do you want to frame that at all? Or what the video is, why it's coming out, and when can we expect to see that? Because I can't wait. I'm gonna have my popcorn. I'm gonna be ready.
Okay, totally out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
For the 2 years I was going through cancer, 2018 and 2019, it was beneficial to me to counter my discomfort, pain, and journey that I was going through
Hmm.
with positiveness.
Yes.
And I remember one day God saying to me, "Your day is coming."
Yes.
I took that phrase and I actually was healed by holding on to that tight. Your day is coming, Teresa. No matter what, your day is coming. And then I reflected on my life and said, no matter what I went after, one of the reasons I didn't give up was because I didn't realize it at that time, but during cancer, I realized it, that my day was coming. So the song is titled, Your Day is Coming.
Okay.
Song and my book, which is coming out, is titled Your Day is Coming.
Love it. Love it. Love
Anyone who's
it.
going through anything, whether you are a caregiver and you're tired,
Hmm.
you are a drug addict and you want to give it up, no
Yeah.
matter your situation, whether you are struggling in school, your day is coming.
I
Just
love it.
steadfast. So I decided that I wanted a song. Knew nothing about the industry, but since I was down, I researched the industry. I found an artist to actually perform the song, but I'm the co-writer and the producer of it.
Oh,
So it's
very
it
nice.
will be out on Friday and it will be out on all media
This Friday coming up.
this Friday,
Oh,
May
yeah.
29th. So no
Do
matter
a watch
what
party
you
on
try,
Zoom with our chapter. Can we do a watch party on Zoom with the chapter or something?
you will do something
Yes,
absolutely.
put it out
So
there, please. We want to support you in that, that moment. We definitely want to be there. Yes,
thank
I'm
you,
so
thank you.
excited.
So
Congratulations.
where it came from, but it's definitely a reflection of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Of no matter what, when I start the company and actually stepped out until I got that first multi-million dollar contract, it was, don't worry, your day is coming. You have to stay steadfast. And a lot of times, let me say this, I shared with a friend, Don Only, recently that people give up the day before their day
Mm.
because you don't know when, but it's coming.
Yes.
So don't give up. Your day is coming. So it's a motivational song, hopefully.
I
And
love it.
even in the midst of COVID, we know at some point in time, we will have the knowledge, the additional science, data, and vaccine to get through this. But to everyone, your day is coming.
Amen. I definitely believe that. And I appreciate and cannot wait to celebrate with you your day. So
Thank you.
thank you for that. I've already heard so many things that you do to remain positive. What are a few of the things that you want to highlight that you're doing that, are in your control? We think about the amount of restrictions that we have on everything we're doing right now, from just visiting, giving out hugs, and things like that, and having to wear masks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What are you doing that's in your control that is positive?
Okay, one thing I've always done is I would just send a kind note to anyone that I felt may have been going through something or a little lonely or upset. So actually on Monday, June the 1st, I'm launching Just a Kind Note initiative.
Look at you.
And so I have an initial team that has volunteered to join. And Just a Kind Note is we're just going to send a kind note to any and everyone. During COVID-19, people are real lonely.
Mm.
And we don't realize that loneliness is rampant in the US.
Mm.
You think about it, we have a large percentage of people here who are 65 and older and live alone, not their family. They're lonely. Loneliness and isolation leads to depression.
Mm.
It leads to health issues.
Mm.
So Just a Kind Note actually being launched. I'm waiting on the logo. So
That's
there's always
beautiful.
something we can do. This is easy. This is simple. And we will be asking people to volunteer. And all you have to do is just send a kind note.
I would love to be a part of that initiative. That sounds very restorative in nature. That sounds
Yes.
very much like a principle. So I'm going to take the title of Queen T and add to it Principal T, because you are running some things, and I appreciate your energy and your creativity. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we are talking about how important it is for us to be creative.
Yes.
One of our sorors mentioned it earlier when I interviewed her early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, creativity. I mean, this is a time for you to use your God-given gifts or figure out what they are and share them with the world, because everybody.
And we have so many gifts that we just don't use. So when I said I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, that's why I even put out in the universe on Facebook, I have 5 goals out there. I said I'm going to run a 5K.
Yay!
Running has been the hardest thing I've ever done. I said I was going to launch a song. The song's being launched.
Okay.
Going to launch a TikTok contest.
That's awesome.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And my biggest thing that I'm doing, and I'm so excited about, is I have a 3-year campaign. I'm going to raise $5 million for cancer.
Wow. I love it. And yes, let's affirm that we are going to raise.
Yes, we are. We're going to raise $5 million.
Research.
Yes, for cancer. And, I'm working that plan also. So there is just so much we can do. And if we all do our little part, imagine what all we would have.
That's right. Take one community together strong, everybody making a difference, just taking a little vision based on a need that you might see and just running with it and getting others to get on board. You're not doing it alone. You're asking for the help of others to empower others, to help others, to support our community.
Absolutely. And trust me, we will raise $5
Oh,
million.
we will. I know we will. That is so exciting. All right, so we've gone through most of our questions in terms of the hardest thing, the positive nature. Our final question is really about kind of thinking about our generation, our younger generation, our students, thinking about our parents, maybe younger parents. Let's cater it to younger parents or just parents in general. Because right now, anybody who's a parent, whether you have a young child that's in elementary or whether you have a college age child or pre-college like myself, shout out to the class of 2020, right?
Absolutely.
But like, what are some things that you're saying to your grandchildren or children about now and how they're managing? And then what are you telling, what would you be telling your friends that are
Right.
crazy?
Right. I've started many books, haven't published them yet. I even started a book for young people, just some of Teresa's advice to young people.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I say to young people is enjoy your youth. It's period of life. You will be an adult forever.
Right.
Enjoy your youth. And people come and go, but the right people will always be there with you.
Amen.
Sometimes young people have a hard time with that, oh, so-and-so is no longer my friend. um, Things evolve, and you as a person are also evolving. And sometimes it's not at the same time. And young people need to understand that people come and go, but the right one is always there. And it's okay to fail. And when I say fail, it's making an attempt at something. The outcome isn't what you wanted it to be. It's not the end of the world. You're young. You can right size it. And I tell people all the time, even in my company, there's no such thing as failure. There is no such thing. Even when we go after contracts and let's say we lose the opportunity and my team will say, oh, we lost. No, we didn't. Need to find the way to win.
That's right. We showed up at least. Yeah.
Absolutely, but there's no such thing. I grew up and I share with my daughters and young people where my parents were givers. And we saw in a family of 13 in our neighborhood, people thought we had so much. And I think that was simply because we gave. And it's amazing. I believe it's true. The more you give, the more he gives to you.
That's right. That's right.
And it takes the focus away from yourself and put it on others. And it will make you such a better person.
Yes.
Another thing I say to young people is no is a complete sentence, an important word, and the final stance in a situation. It's okay to say no.
Okay.
It's okay to say no. And if you don't feel comfortable saying no, I would tell the girls, then blame it on me. Say your mom, anything.
Yeah, right.
That supplements, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
do that. And I have two more things. One is get information from alternative sources. Your friends are not the know-all and do-all. There's more research than Google and Wikipedia. Learn to research, get information, and frame the information in your view.
Isn't that the truth? I tell you.
Yes.
Basically be careful who you receive counsel from.
Absolutely, especially for young people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially. Lastly, start a business. You don't have to know what the business is going to be today, but the way you control your destiny is to own a business, to be a partner in the business, start a business. You can employ people. You can then direct how you want your life to be lived. And these things, some of them are easier than others, but they're not too young to start thinking about these things. Do whatever it is you want to do. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wasn't an astronaut, but I did work in the spacecraft industry.
Yes. I just appreciate your positive growth mindset. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate your positive energy and your vibes in spite of all that you're managing and all that you've been through. Shout out to Baltimore and the Ravens. I know you're a fan. Go Eagles. I
Yes.
just had to say that because
All right.
I love
All
the way
right.
she applauds her team.
Absolutely.
So thank you for your time today. I know that you have many places that you could be. Thank you for choosing to spend a little time with Jeneen from Jeneen C.A.R.E.S. I really appreciate it. We're really just one community together strong, trying to provide opportunities for our youth. For me, growing up in Philadelphia, I was blessed and fortunate to have programs like AFNA, which was the American Foundation
Mm-hmm.
for Negro Affairs,
Mm-hmm.
who allowed me and my brother to be in programs that offered internships on college campuses so that we would
Yep.
know that that was an option.
Yep.
Paid internships. I was on
Mm-hmm.
KP University's campus prior to even going to college. And so for me,
Mm-hmm.
it was like always a given that I would because I already did, right? And so I also know that we're not good test takers.
Absolutely.
As an African American, I feel like, you know, some of the opportunities that I didn't have limited me a little bit from doing really well on standardized tests. But again, I go back to the opportunities that I had for prep, you know, SAT
Right.
opportunities through those
Mm-hmm.
enrichment programs. And so as a
Mm-hmm.
school leader, a lot of the things that I tried to always do is provide additional opportunities for youth that are at risk, so that, and all students in general, because you never know, even if somebody is
Sure.
well off financially, they still might not have
Mm-hmm.
opportunities because of their parenting. And
Right.
so I tried to expose all children to opportunities, from like career day to diversity night, just to have them to think as like globally minded citizens. And so I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you. Thanks so much. I'm so excited about Jeneen C.A.R.E.S. and where it will go. If you need any support, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm also excited about Cherie, your daughter, going to Hampton.
I know. Yes, yes, yay.
Proud Hampton mom. And this is awesome. It's so needed. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for your time. I look forward to talking more about some of the things that you mentioned, and maybe identifying where I can grow and learn from you with respect to being on a board to just get that experience. So thank you so much for your time. And I know that I'll see you soon, and definitely on Friday.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. So your day is coming. We'll launch this Friday.
Okay, is there any other websites or anything else that you want to shout out as you close out the video, like where people can find you or something that you want them to look for?
You know, just you can find me on Facebook, of course. Instagram site is going up today, and you can always go to www.georgestreetinc.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for your time, and I'll be in touch, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, have a good day.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.